Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. Our today's topic is Heavenly Stick. This is the sacred staff of Hazrat Mosa AS, which is called the staff of Moses. The history of this sacred staff is very ancient, which in its footsteps encompassed hundreds of historical events in which thousands of admonitions and lessons are shining like stars. This staff was 10 cubits long, as the height of Hazrat Mosa AS. On its head were 2 branches that at night shine bright like torches. It was made of the wood comes from the heavens tree, and from there was bought by Hazrat Adam AS. After Hazrat Adam, one after the other, the sacred staff was inherited by the prophets until it was inherited by Hazrat Shoaib AS. Hazrat Shoaib AS gave Mūsā AS this sacred staff on the command of Allah. When from Madian he left for his homeland in Egypt and reached the holy place of Tuwa Valley. At this time, Allah Almighty, exalted with all his manifestations, raised his status above to the noble position of prophethood. Allah Ta'ala in Quran said, "And what is in your right hand, O Moses?" He said, "This is my staff. I recline on it, and I beat down the leaves with it, to make them fall upon my sheep, and I have other uses for it." Hazrat Allama Abu al-Barakat Abdullah bin Ahmad, may Allah have mercy on him, said, he used to carry it in his hands and walk with it, have conversations with it. During the day, it becomes tree and gives shade. At night, its branches light up and give light. When water is to be fetched from a well, it becomes a rope, and its branches becomes the bucket. To become a tree in time of need and give fruits as desired. Tapping of it on the ground to get water out. When he went to Pharaoh's court to guide him on Allah's path, he called him a sorcerer and belied him. The Pharaoh then invited some great sorcerers of that time to fight and defeat Hazrat Mosa AS. When the sorcerers threw their magic wands and ropes, swearing by Pharaoh's honor, they became snakes and ran all over the field. Pharaoh and all his sorcerers, seeking this trick, became intoxicated with the pride and arrogance of their victory and began to express their joy with applause. By the command of Allah, Hazrat Mosa AS threw his sacred staff into the crowd of snakes. It became a huge snake and swallowed all the magician snakes. Seeing this miracle, the sorcerers confessed their defeat, fell down in prostration, and began to proclaim aloud that we believed in the Lord of Harun and Musa. In Quran, Allah Ta'ala said, Surah Taha, verse number 65 to 70. They said, O Musa, will you cast your staff, or shall we be the first who cast down? Musa said, Nay, you cast down. Then their gods and their rods appeared to him as if they were moving fast on account of their magic. So Moses conceived in him a fear. We said, Do not fear, surely you are the uppermost. And cast down what is in your right hand, your staff. I shall swallow up what they have made. What they have made is only a magician's trick, and the magicians shall not have salvation wheresoever they may come from. Upon that, the magicians fell down, prostrate. They said, We believe in the Lord of Harun and Mūsā. The original homeland of the Israelis was Syria, but during the reign of Prophet Joseph, these people came and settled in Egypt. Syria was ruled by the Amalekites. When Pharaoh drowned in the Nile, and Musa was satisfied with Pharaoh's danger, so Allah commanded the people of Amalek to wage jihad and liberate Syria from their control. He set out for jihad with an army of 600,000 Bani Israelis. And when he reached the borders of Syria, the Amalekites were so frightened of the Israelis that they turned away from jihad. For this disobedience, Allah Almighty punished the slaves of Israel so that they wandered and wandered in the field for 40 years and could not get out of the field. Prophet Mūsā AS also used to visit this field. When the Bani Israel became restless with hunger and thirst, Allah Almighty answers the prayer of Hazrat Mosa AS and sent down manna salwa from the sky to feed them. After the meal, when these people became thirsty and begged for water, Hazrat Mosa AS struck his staff on the rock. 12 fountains of water gushed forth from the rock, and 12 families of Bani Israel drank that water by themselves and also feed their animals. This all continued for 40 years. In Surah Baqarah, verse number 60, Allah Ta'ala said, And when Musa a.s. asked for water for his people, we said to him, Strike the rock with your staff. Then gushed forth from it 12 springs. Each tribe knew its drinking place. The river burst with the blow of the staff. Hazrat Mosa a.s. guided Pharaoh for a long time and showed him signs and miracles, but he did not accept the truth, and his wickedness and rebelliousness increased. Because Bani Israel did not acknowledge his deity, he persecuted the believers so much that at the same time it was revealed to Hazrat Mosa AS by Allah that he should immigrate from Egypt with the believers of Bani Israel. So Mūsā AS left Egypt at night with Bani Israel. When Pharaoh found out, he too set out with his army to capture the slaves of Israel. When the two armies came closer to each other, Bani Israel cried out in fear of Pharaoh that now we will be captured by Pharaoh and the position of Bani Israel will be critical because behind them was Pharaoh's army and ahead was the river. In this troubled situation, Prophet Mūsā AS was satisfied and was counseling the Bani Israel. He hit the river with his stick, and there became a path in the river, and Bani Israel crossed the river from this safe path. When Pharaoh reached the river, he followed the same path. But when Pharaoh and his army reached the middle of the river suddenly disappeared, and Pharaoh and his army drowned in the river. Subscribe to our channel for more such beautiful stories.